Hey guys, it's Matt, Overland Squared. Day one out here in Moab. Decided 10:30 p.m. Friday night to jump in the Jeep and get headed this way. I've wanted to do Moab for quite some time now, and I've only been here a little while, but I can already tell you there's something special about this place, especially in the winter. Way less noise, a lot fewer people, and a whole lot of space to think. Today's route, Potash Road, follows the Colorado River right through the base of these massive canyons. It's not a technical trail, and that's kind of the point. Like, I've drove through Moab plenty of times going to Durango with my kids for hockey or whatever, but I've never actually been here to do any kind of camping or off-roading. So really wanted to take an easy kind of scenic trail, get the lay of the land, and see what Moab's about. This road exists because of mining. Long before it became a scenic drive, mixed right in with that history are petroglyphs, stories carved into stone by people who were here long before any of this. This stretch of Potash Road was built for the Cane Creek Potash Mine. The mine reaches an ore body in the Paradox Basin, nearly 3,000 feet below the surface. In 1963, shortly after opening, a massive underground explosion killed 18 workers, marking one of the most deadly events in the mine's history. In 1970, the operation shifted to solution mining, using water from the Colorado River to dissolve the potash and bring it back to the surface. Today, evaporation ponds and canyon walls still tell the story beneath these tires. I was really amazed to see this little guy too. Potash Road also cuts through critical desert bighorn sheep habitat. These canyon walls provide shelter, escape, terrain, and access to water along the river. Once nearly wiped out, bighorn sheep have slowly returned through conservation and protection. Out here, industry and wildlife share the same narrow corridor. While Potash Road isn't very technical, it's still a little bit rough, so I figured I'd save myself some grief. Go ahead and air down to make the rest of the day and the weekend a little more comfortable. High above this canyon, way up on the rim, is Dead Horse Point State Park. From up there, the Colorado River makes a massive horseshoe bend, almost 2,000 feet below. The name comes from old cowboy legends, using the narrow neck of the land as a corral. Harsh times, unforgiving terrain. And if Dead Horse Point looks familiar, you're not wrong. The final scene of Thelma and Louise, the iconic drive into the canyon, was filmed right there. The movie makes it feel like the Grand Canyon, but it's actually Moab. A little movie magic layered on top of a very real place. What gets me is how one place can mean so many different things. Industry, sacred history, cinema, and of course solitude. Unfortunately, Schaefer switchbacks were closed, so I headed back down Potash Road and got ready for a night out camping and switching scenery for traction. With Potash Road done, the Jeep dusty and muddy, and the desert quiet again, I had time to reflect. Now it's just fire, stars, and time. No distractions, no noise. This is the moment when solo trips stop being about travel and start being about intention. While I expect tomorrow will still be very scenic, it's going to be a little bit different. It won't be as casual, and I'm going to have to earn it. coffee and breakfast done, a quick Jeep check to make sure everything's ready for the day, making sure tire pressures are still right and everything's placed where it's supposed to be. Get ready to head out to tackle fins and things. One of the main reasons I wanted to do fins was because it does have several exit points, and from what I could see, almost every line has a hard, an easy, or a medium version. So I felt I'd be comfortable doing it solo. Being out there solo, it's a different feeling. Like, I have to plan ahead, and I have to leave margins. I gotta choose things carefully. It's not so much about being cautious, it's about being intentional. While I'd like to say I would have loved a blue sky, clear sunny day, something about the cloud cover and the way the sun peeked through it made it feel mysterious, and it was one of the most beautiful starts to any trail I've been on. And then about halfway through, as things cleared up, it even got better. For about the first mile and a half in, a lot of this was just trying to feel out how much grip I had, given the sandy, muddy, wet conditions. And it wasn't so much for the climbs, while that was important. I was more worried about the descents and being able to control brake and not slide down the steep bank. Once I got the feel for it, I felt a lot more comfortable that I would be able to manage the trail safely. Like I said, one of the nice things about this trail are there are several cutoff points where you can shorten it or do the full trail. I would suggest, if you've never been, make sure you have a good map, or either an app or one of the maps they have there at the site. But it can get a little bit confusing on where you need to go. And keep in mind, this is a one-way trail. And if you're out there alone, it really is important to know where you're going so that you don't take a wrong turn and put yourself in a bad spot. The entire time I was on this trail, I only saw 2 side-by-sides. I'd like to tell you that I did every hard line. That just wouldn't be the case. Traction, conditions, the unknown. Sometimes you got to do a risk-reward analysis and decide what you're going to do and what's going to put you in the best spot to get home. I would love to go back at some point, and definitely plan on going back and hit some of these harder obstacles. Maybe just not in the winter. Fins and things doesn't need to have extreme obstacles to be meaningful. For me, it confirmed that I've built some good habits, especially when the conditions aren't ideal. Even though it's just a 4 out of 10 and it's the easiest badge of honor you can get in Moab, it's definitely one I'm very proud of, and I'm looking forward to getting it in a few months in the mail. There's something about getting to the end of the trail. Makes me happy and sad all at the same time. Happy that I got to do it, sad that it's over. It's time to get headed back to Denver, which meant a 6.5-hour drive. So we're gonna get aired up, we're gonna get headed back. If you think the video deserves a like, or you're thinking about subscribing, go ahead and hit that button for me. And as always, from out at Overland Squared, stay safe. We'll see you on the trail.